Today, we're going to talk about a question that most parents and their students never ask when they transition into adulthood by turning 18. How, as parents, can we stay involved with our children and their healthcare, their finances, their education, and everything else once they turn 18? I'm estate planning attorney Sean Eyestone, and having just celebrated another child turning 18 over the weekend, it reminded me that most families and most parents and most students don't have anything in place to make sure that the family can continue to help support the child with their healthcare needs or their financial needs or even their educational records access. So I know that the first 18 years have gone by really quick and it's not going to slow down. So now is the time to take a few moments and make sure that you have yourself appointed or someone else appointed who can step in if someone needs to help with the financial decisions or the healthcare decisions for your newly minted adult. If you have a son who just turned 18, then the first thing you have to do within the first 30 days of his birthday is make sure he gets registered for selective service. Yep, the draft, that still exists, but now you don't have to trudge down to the post office, wait in line, and fill out a paper form, but you can go right online at sss.gov/register and get that taken care of right from the comfort of your own home. All you need is name, date of birth, address, and social security number, and then you'll get a confirmation, and then you just need to wait and hope and pray that World War III doesn't happen. And in the meantime, you can move on to the other things that aren't legally required, but should be. And that's getting someone named to handle the healthcare or the financial decisions for your new adult if they're not able to do so. Whether you have a son or a daughter, you will quickly find out that after they turn 18, you won't have the same access to their financial information or their medical records that you did before they were 18. In fact, on my son's 18th birthday, first thing in the morning, I get an email from the doctor's office saying I no longer had access to his medical records. And then the same is true for financial institutions and banks and some colleges and high schools. They won't let you have access to any of that information unless you have the right paperwork. In fact, I had a friend who's a very smart person who didn't get this set up for her daughter before she went off to college. And then out of the blue, she gets a phone call from a hospital, and the hospital just wants the insurance information, says the daughter's in stable condition, but can't say anything more. The daughter is with them, but she hasn't signed any pieces of paper that says anybody can have information about her health care. And the parents are upset. Like, why can't you tell us anything? So they fly down to Georgia, quickly find out that it's not a big deal. And right after that, they get the paperwork set up. But had they had it in place before, they wouldn't have had to have that anxiety-ridden quick flight down to Georgia. If you don't want to be like my friend who got locked out of having any access to her daughter's medical information, you really need to have a HIPAA authorization in place for your child. Now, most of the HIPAA authorizations people are familiar with come from a doctor's office or from a hospital, but those are linked just to those institutions and might not work elsewhere. So we recommend having a broad HIPAA authorization in place for your child to let you have access to their medical information regardless of where they may be. And then in addition, if your child's not able to do their own care, having a patient advocate designation and an advance directive for a caregiver will allow you to have access and to participate in the decision-making for your student if they need you to do that. In addition to healthcare issues, your son or daughter may have issues with a bank or with a landlord, or maybe even with their college or university. In these instances, you will need to have a durable power of attorney for your child. Now, most durable powers of attorney don't even cover educational issues or landlord-tenant matters because they're designed for much older people. We have specifically tailored an estate planning package for people that are 18 to 25, so typically students without children, and we set it up so that it addresses all of the issues that we've come up with our own children, with our clients' children, and then even some obscure ones that we probably picked up from the movies or in the horrible events that happen on the news. If you're like me and your child has recently become an adult in the eyes of the law, but you really should still be involved in their financial and healthcare decisions, then it's important then you get the correct documents in place. Give us a call today at the number below and schedule a strategy session with one of our attorneys. Or you can get the process started on our website right now at istonelawoffices.com/starter, and we can help you make sure that your young adult has an estate plan that actually works.